Hello, this is Aksa. I'm a somatic integrative therapist, and today I'm getting together with my friends just for a casual conversation around what does mental health and wellness look like in our society? Are we overcomplicating it? And we will primarily be focusing on A, what does it look like for each one of us, right? And B, what are some of the habits and practices we can incorporate into our daily lifestyle that encourage a sense of authenticity, a sense of feeling more grounded and feeling like ourselves. So I'm going to be getting together with Sana and Varda and Riha, all lovely women, and I share a very lovely bond with each one of them. So I'm very excited for it.
Hi, my name is Sana, and I do art therapy, basically exercising your inner demon through art.
Hi everyone, I'm Varda. I'm a meditation and mindfulness teacher, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Wellness Studio.
Hi, this is Riha, and I'm a yoga and wellness coach, and I run my own small studio space by the name of Choti Yogi.
My small OCDs. Yes. If there's a railing around stairs, anywhere, I have this need to either have my hand on the railing all through beginning to end or not at all. I can't just touch it and let it go and Mrs. Mark, it grates on me. I literally feel tingles in my hand till I go back and meet the patch.
Yeah, but the cycle in your mind needs to finish.
Exactly.
It's that.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how long it keeps running in my head. So most of the time, I'm like, I don't touch this at all because otherwise, I don't know, I'll mess things up with somebody if we're going in and I can't go back and get back to my railing all the way again. And with stairs, my last step to be with my right foot.
Oh, God.
So literally,
That would get so annoying if it's not. Then what do you do?
here's what I do. When I'm left with 5, I just make sure that I know if it's odd or even. And I actually shuffle my feet to make sure that I land with my right foot. It's so...
That's
Okay.
No, it can be...
intelligent. No, I think sounds okay, but you know what happens is that in the brain, the tingling is so much that in that moment is almost like मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकती जब तक मैं ये सही नहीं कर सकती.
Exactly. It
like-
can be crippling.
It's such a intense stuff.
See, if you like obsess over it, like which you don't really have control over some things, right? Because for me, for the longest of time, I was like, if I'm buying something, or if I'm giving something, it either has to be in 3s or 5s or 7s for some weird reason.
That is so interesting.
And I would be like, why? But I made a conscious effort to, okay, no, this can't go on. I can't keep 3s of everything.
So here's the thing, right? With you, you made a conscious effort to break out of it. With me, it's become instinct because I don't even register that I'm making sure on like the 5th step to the last or 4th or 5th step to the last that the rest of the steps are even or not. And with the railings, I just
do it. You just do it.
I used to be the kind of person who count stairs all the time, going up, going down. But I've kind of consciously maybe gotten out of the habit. Yeah, even put my foot in a box, other boxes wali. But I think over time, khudi se na usko, I've started like letting it go.
What I would like to ask is what you said that you made a conscious effort, as did you. Where did the motivation to consciously not do this anymore come from? Because I have absolutely no motivation.
Yeah.
It's inconvenient, na? You will change it yourself, right? Because aapko har dafa nahi pata hoga ki stairs kahan tak.
But doesn't it feel like you're going against your own instinct? You're going against your own like thought. You know, like I would feel that way. Oh, if I'm doing this, like if I'm working so hard to do this, then I am going against my own self, like and constantly creating situations that create like mental dilemmas.
Yeah, I think I started doing this when I realized it was getting too much for me. Like I would be constantly obsessing over it. I like this, but सिर्फ एक available था मैं 3 नहीं ले सकती, so I had to leave it and I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
Like that's not okay. I can't always be buying things either in 3 or 5, yes, 7. Like, and it could be anything, coasters, random stuff, but it had to be in these numbers.
You know what's just occurred to me, and I don't know if this really means anything or not, but it feels like in your case in particular, and in your case, the cost is inconvenience. In your case, the cost is perhaps not getting something that you wanted and money, right?
Yeah.
And I think maybe I don't register my inconvenience as being enough of it.
Which is another, like, I think that's also a beautiful segue into, you know, what we want to talk about today, that when it comes to well-being, when it comes to prioritizing ourselves, when it comes to our self-care, right? How often do we or do we not look at things that from a lens of, is it, you know, challenging enough for me to do something about it, or am I making it a me issue? Because a lot of the times we are also told, right, कि, oh, but this is a huge.
Yeah, true.
Right? ये तुम्हारा मसला है, तुम solve करो. Like growing up as well, we hear this in our culture so much in Pakistan के, हाँ लेकिन तुम ऐसी हो, तुम अगर ऐसे नहीं करोगी, तो ऐसे नहीं होगा.
You are the problem, basically.
You are the problem.
Yeah. And I don't know if anyone else relates to this or not, but something that I remember hearing every now and then is that focus on the self is self-centeredness, and think about others. Don't be so selfish. So there's a very strange translation of that into seeing self-care and self-healing as being registered as you being self-centered by others.
Or even selfish. Like, I think that word is thrown aloud a lot.
Yeah. But I also feel that has a lot to do with how our culture works, because we are so family. So you like, think about family, you can't think about yourself. Unko bura lagega, ye hoga. So this is what we've been taught all our life, to think about others कि किसी और को बुरा ना लगे. Doesn't matter आपको कैसा लग रहा है.
हाँ.
So I think that's a huge family values or what. Like, I think that's a way to control people.
That's fair.
It is. I think so too.
And that's something you realize when you grow up and you unlearn what you've been taught. Yeah. I'd like to come back to what you said about, like, if people tell you it's a you issue, and it's so isolating. A lot of people think that they're alone if they are suffering from anxiety, or if they're suffering from depression, or if they're just stressed out or burnt out because corporate jobs, 9 to 7, 9 to 6 in Pakistan, right? So it's so isolating, not knowing that other people are going through the same things, and people just telling you it's a you issue, or it's not an issue at all. This is really normal, and everybody just deals with it, and just keep moving, putting one foot in front of the other, and you'll be fine. You'll get out of it. Who be it?
It's a lot like shoving things under a rug, right?
Yeah, we have that culture in Pakistan, right? Everything is like, आज लड़ाई हुई है घर में, सब एक दूसरे पर चिल्ला रहे हैं, चीख रहे हैं घर में, या अम्मी अब्बू लड़ाई कर रहे हैं, या बहन भाई ने एक दूसरे को कोई बातें बोल दी, या अब्बू ने या किसी ने, you know, like violence, physical violence is so common, right? मार दिया एक दूसरे को घर में, especially parents ने बच्चों को मार दिया, सब सोने चले गए, सुबह उठो, everything is back to normal. And that in itself is so disorienting. Like, as a child, what do you make? What sense do you make out of it? Like, what do you even think about it?
That you don't discuss, or you talk,
Or maybe it's not a big deal.
so that you keep the peace.
Exactly. There's normalization
That's a lot of normalization.
take, and this expectation. What's happening is nobody is realizing that they are being groomed into just functioning around masks that are expected to put on. It feels like a skin, and on the inside, you're getting sick. You're lashing out seemingly unprovoked, but the fact is there's so much inside of you that has had no outlet. That true. This is very often the kind of thing that turns into you becoming the beast in someone else's life that you had in your own.
Yeah.
And the entire idea around how something like this needs to be acknowledged, be addressed, is stigmatized.
But I also want to just piggybacking on what you're saying, I do want to mention here one thing that I notice a lot in my work and just around me as well, that we see, you know, the word that you used as well, like, you know, we become the beast in other people's stories, or we become the villain in other people's stories. And in our society, villain or as the bad person, etc., is understood as this aggressive person, जो mean हो, जो selfish हो, जो गुस्सा करता हो, जो शायद alcoholic हो, जो शायद घर में नहीं रहता हो, दोस्तों में ज़्यादा रहता हो. So a lot of the loudness, people who do things that are inappropriate or unacceptable in a loud way, whether that's anger issues, whether that's violence, whether that is, living away from family, that is seen as the bad thing. But if somebody, one thing that I feel like our society does not recognize enough even today is it's not always just the visible problems. There is a lot of invisibility in how we suffer and how we project those sufferings. So a lot of emotional unavailability. Parents being emotionally unavailable. Friends being, unforgiving towards each other. Mistakes either being like ये तो कोई बात ही नहीं है or like ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. तो thinking in extremes, right? So I don't think it's just, our problem is not just कि हम लोग इतना internalize कर लेते हैं चीज़ों को. I think one other problem is कि either that internalization comes out as like this big thing that is seen and observed and witnessed and deemed inappropriate and unacceptable, or if we also realize कि हम ऐसे तो lash out नहीं कर सकते, तो अब कैसे lash out करना है, फिर आ जाता है self harm, फिर आ जाता है isolation, फिर आ जाता है not showing our true self or being completely genuine with people.
I think also not taking care of ourselves. Because when people are suffering, they kind of hurt themselves by not doing things that will help them in life, even not eating properly. They're not really thinking about it, but a lot of people might just be stress eating. Because they're not thinking about caring about themselves. They're just trying to fill some gap that they're feeling in life. And another thing I think is not apologizing. We're talking about so many things getting shoved under the carpet, and next morning people don't acknowledge that something went wrong. And not apologizing is a way to suffer yourself as well and make others suffer as well. Because होगा क्या, बार बार पुरानी बातें आगे की लड़ाइयों में definitely आएंगी, because they never got resolved. You never addressed anything, in your relationships around you that should mean a lot to you.
That's true. I think apologizing, I think that makes half the difference. If everyone could just, like, whoever messes up could just apologize, be it your parents, be it someone elder, even if you do that and koi bachcha hai, you need to apologize. I don't know why we have this, I don't know if it's shame, is it ego, which is attached with saying sorry, especially in our culture when it comes to elders, especially. We've never seen our parents apologize to us, right? And I do think that's changing now. I do see younger couples apologizing their kids, which is a good change. But yes, I think sorry is something that's a very important part.
I think that's a very important part of letting repair exist where rupture has happened. अगर आपने किसी को hurt किया है, किसी ने आपको hurt किया है, be it a parental figure, be it a friend, be it a boyfriend, girlfriend, be it an uncle, aunt, whoever it is, right? But if you have been hurt or if you have hurt somebody, just this simple thing of saying, oh yeah, I messed up, I am sorry about it, can also, like, on a neurological level, I think it can also make us less confrontational.
I agree.
Oh, sorry. Yes, make us less confrontational and also give us the confidence to be confrontational at the same time. Because a lot of the times when people have not heard what you're saying, people have not heard that forgiveness can be verbalized, can be accepted, right? They don't know how to address issues when they grow into adults. They don't know how to bring up difficult conversations. Or even if they know how to bring up difficult conversations, they are talking about it in not so kind ways because they don't know how to talk about it kindly.
So I feel like I have maybe an interesting take on this. I don't know. Personally, I am unable to have difficult conversations with anybody. And if I specifically speak about how things are in my own home, my siblings are able to do that. So it isn't that I didn't get an environment that but it allowed me the room. I just can't. I feel there's so much, I don't know, maybe I inflate the stakes in my own head, which I feel crippled by. And there was this training that I was in a couple of years back, and this thing came up, and it was the first time that it actually hit me with a lot of clarity. The exercise was think about an experience where you had a conflict with someone you are close to, and you were able to resolve that conflict. And that's when it hit me. I have no resolved conflict in my life because I've never addressed any conflict in my life. So, I don't know, I feel I'm coming from a place of being slightly stunted when it comes to this very healthy part of being an adult.
Yeah, socially fine. I think that's something.
It is what it is.
Even I've struggled with it for a long time. Now, even if I do have to do it, it will take me a long time where I'm like, okay, I think I can do it now.
Yeah.
But again, like it takes a conscious effort to I feel like even if I'm talking to someone, I can still see, how my voice, my tone might start to change because I would start getting to the second, okay, I don't want to be rude or anything. I'm trying really hard not to be rude. And just keep my emotions in control. So yes, and I've also run away from conflict all my life, and I would still do it for the most part. But then I also do, now I know I started trying to, if something is hurting me, I do try to let the person know that this is up to that hurt me. And honestly, all it takes is a single sorry. For me, that just reduce, mera gussa aadha wahi khatam ho jata hai. Like that.
I remember this one time when this few years ago, right? A very, very, very close friend and I had like a huge, massive issue, and we literally fought. And this is also like a few years ago, right? So we were not as, we were still aware individuals, right? But we were not as, sometimes in our awareness, we can still make a lot of excuses for our ego, right? Yeah. So at least me, I recognize now looking back that I was coming from that place of recognizing my ego, but making excuses for it. And I'm sure she must be coming from her own place at the time, right? So we had this huge conflict and we fought, right? And then we did not speak, I remember, for about 6-8 months. And then there came a point where one of us reached out to the other one just to apologize, right? And then the other one, I don't remember now who was the first one or the second one. And that's also irrelevant. Why? Because the repair was beautiful. What happened is the first one apologized and said that, hey, you know what? Looking back, this is what I did wrong. And I'm sorry. And that's the only thing I want to say, that I'm sorry. And there's no pressure for you to accept my apology right now, right? Do it at your own time. And then eventually, I still remember it was a few months apart, right? The other one also came around and said, you know what? I am also sorry about these things. And I think we should sit down and have a conversation, right? And then the two of us met, right? And it was, I think, after our breakup, and we were very close friends, right? So after our breakup, I think it was a year and a half afterwards that we sat down, right? Completely different phases of our life. And we're sitting across each other and we're addressing everything that each one of us did wrong and how it made us feel. And our friendship is still just beautiful.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's deeper.
It's deeper, it's more honest. We're able to show up more authentically. We're able to also mess up. I feel so much ease. And we've talked about is that there's just so much ease knowing that, I can mess up here and that's okay. It's not gonna shatter everything.
The visual that's coming to me is this feels a lot like what you do with, building muscle, where you take it to a point where it breaks down.
Yeah. I remember this one time, my therapist, a very, very, very long time ago, I remember I went to my therapy session. I was like, I feel like I'm completely breaking down. I feel like, I told her, I was like, I know I've said this before that I'm breaking down, but this time it feels like every little broken piece of me is shattering furthermore. And my therapist goes she stood up and started clapping. I was like, what the are you going? Are you insane? You're like, no, she's like, no, Aksa, now you can finally build back up from scratch the way you wanted to. It's a clean slate. And
so
that's
beautiful.
been the most profound thing for me as a client and also as a therapist. Like a lot of the times when clients come in, they're like, you know, I feel like this relationship is completely khatam ho gaya, ab kuch nahi kar sakte. And I'm like, हाँ, अभी कुछ नहीं कर सकती तुम, but let's come back to it in some time and then let's see.
Yeah. I think that's also valid for yourself, right? If you've gone through something that's very traumatic or it was really challenging and you feel like you've just broken, you can definitely build yourself up back and you'll be stronger for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same goes for relationships, same goes for any work that you're doing. A lot of people are like, oh, I failed at something. If it is a learning opportunity, you can always build that thing back up because you have had that experience.
Yeah.
What you call failure, and I call it learning.
And that's beautiful. Yeah. That's absolutely beautiful. And it makes me think, you know, what we were talking about earlier when we were thinking about this podcast, etc., and thinking to do this. That are we putting too much pressure on being well-rounded, being like well mature and like very just really perfect in every way in terms of our mental health and our well-being as a society where mental health, wellness, self-care is still a taboo. And it is, yes, it's changing. Like Riha said, it's changing. Sure, it's changing with younger parents. It's changing with people and people like us as well who are talking about it. I think we are part of the change, right? But is there too much, are we putting too much pressure on it being a necessity?
To me, it feels, going along what you just said, there's this concept of feeling that there are things that need to be fixed, identifying this one thing that if this is done, everything else will become perfectly fine. And I think that's what mental health as a concept has become. And the problem is there is no one thing that will fix everything else for you. So there is this burden put on this particular factor being absolutely perfect and delivering, or else nothing is going to sort itself out. I have been in therapy for a few years now. I mean, I have my own limitations. Maybe if this conversation goes in that direction, that'll come up again. But it was the experience of going to a therapist consistently for over 4 years now that I think has helped me understand it's a window, it's not an answer. And that is an understanding that the small pocket of people who recognize this as something that's important need to understand.
I'd also go back to what you said. For some people, it's like, if I fix this one thing, sab kuch theek ho jayega. And they put too much pressure on that, fixing that one thing.
Yeah.
For other people, they make it unnecessarily complicated for themselves because they're like, मैंने सब कुछ fix कर. कल मैं उठूंगी, मेरी रूटीन होगी, कल मैं खाना भी ठीक खाऊंगी, मैं जिम भी जाऊंगी, मैं शायद योगा भी कर लूँ, मैं पानी भी याद करूंगी कब कब मैंने सब भी डाउनलोड कर लिया. मैं जिंदगी अपनी एकदम से ना 10 डायरेक्शंस में सही कर.
जो मैंने आइडेंटिफाई किया मेरी जिंदगी में खराब है वो सब सही हो जाएगा. और जब मैंने 1 महीने से जा रही हूँ, ठीक नहीं हो रहा, टेक न्यू थेरेपिस्ट. And there's so many people. I know somebody who cycles through 5 therapists in 1 year. Jana, kuch fix nahi ho raha. I needed to get fixed, and that's exactly it.
I think this is the fixation with this it needs to be fixed. Like abhi bas poem मैंने शुरू किया, महीना हो गया, क्यों नहीं हो रहा? It's not magic. It's a slow process. Like with anything, be it yoga, be it medication, therapy, whatever works for you. It's not magic. Overnight kuch nahi fix hoga. And honestly, I also feel like you yourself have to make a huge effort to be, to want to make yourself better. Like you can't just say कि अगर मैं therapy पे जा रही हूँ, so वो सिर्फ therapist की job है. उसके once I step out, I don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, you're not making that effort.
Yeah.
Nothing is going. No one can fix you.
And there's no fixing.
This is exactly what I was about to come saying. Because the idea of fixing is completely entwined with the idea of wrongness.
Like there's nothing, like so many clients, they will come in, they'll be like, I need to fix my sleep schedule. I'm like, yeah, but there's nothing wrong with it to begin with. And if you find there's something wrong with it, then मुझे बताओ कि मसला क्या है? मुझे नींद टाइम पे नहीं आती. आपको अगर नींद टाइम पे नहीं आती, that's not a masla, that is your reality. You're looking at it as a problem, that's your lens.
And what you're probably not identifying is there are other things in your life that are creating the environment जहाँ पे आपका sleeping time is not ideal.
Exactly. Standards है ना, कहीं से पकड़े हुए हैं. आप पे अप्लाई होते हैं नहीं होते, आपने जबरदस्ती अप्लाई कर ले हुए हैं कि लोग कहते हैं कि 8 बजे उठना चाहिए या 7 बजे उठना चाहिए. कुछ लोग कहते हैं 4 बजे उठना चाहिए. उठिए वो 4 बजे वही. सेल्फ अवेयरनेस का मसला है ना. आपने मेडिटेशन की टेक्निक यही वाली ट्राई करनी है बिकॉज ये मेरे दोस्तों ने कहा था कि ये बहुत फिट है, बट आप में आपको सूट ही ना करे.
If you are shaped like a squiggle,
Yeah.
and you along with society are forcing a duck-shaped cookie cutter onto yourself, you're chopping off bits. Obviously, that's what you're doing. Okay?
Yeah.
वो जो एक I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but in some instance, maybe it's driven by externalized anxiety or externalized expectations or expectations that have been internalized. They're not actually coming from you. But the idea of all of this is right and everything of myself, about myself, that does not fall in line with this needs to be fixed, removed, edited, cut out, chopped out, and hence I will be acceptable. I feel a lot of this really comes from a place where you are either unable to or unwilling to see yourself for who you are and as a whole in and of yourself.
I also think it comes from this mindset of fixation, like this obsession with fixed things and perfection, or ye aise hona chahiye, wo aise hona chahiye. And just to piggyback what you're saying, right? I think another thing that we are doing, or another way we are very complicating this idea of self-care and wellness and healing, even though I have like a lot of feelings about the term healing, but we are so, like, as a society or as people who are learning more about themselves, we are also constantly confusing things for other things. For example, we're confusing boundaries, or the pop psychology term, the very famous term like hard boundaries, as burning bridges. And that too in a society like ours.
Yeah.
Right? And then we also are confusing, like, agar koi sad din guzar raha hai kisi ka, so they'll be like, I'm so depressed today. Bro, you're not depressed, you are just sad. It's sadness, it's okay to be sad a little bit. अच्छा अगर आप सुबह उठी हो, नींद अच्छी नहीं आई यार, आज ना मैं बहुत lethargic हूँ, okay ठीक है, understandable, but क्या कर रही हो उसके लिए? Like सुबह उठ के lethargic हो रही हो, so what are you doing about it? Are you eating something that's, power packed to make yourself feel better? But are you doing something about it, or are you just identifying? Because identification without your own effort is just half the work, and it will lead to a lot of frustration.
I think a lot of people are just waiting for someone else to come in and rescue them. कोई और आएगा, मेरी शायद सारी टीम भी ठीक हो जाएगी, मेरा जिम बॉडी भी बन जाएगा, कि मेरा जिम भी हो जाएगा. Therapist will just fix me. जो आपने कहा था, the moment I step out तो मुझे कोई और काम नहीं करना. I always say be your own hero.
Yeah.
I think that's what I said. Really, a lot of people don't realize कि ये कितना important.
Well, the myth of the knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
Be your own knight.
That's where everything starts from. Like there is a point where you want to make things better for yourself.
Agency आपके पास है.
Yeah.
That's what it really is.
Yeah.
Recognize it.
Recognize it.
I mean, it's rich coming from me. It really is. I mean, I know that I'm aware that I have some limitations.
The goats resisting with cows.
I'm a goat, but I'm so tempted to actually make a goat sound right now. It's ridiculous.
We'll edit it and put it there.
I'm kind of good at it actually. देखो अब मैंने कह दिया, अब मैं under pressure आ जाएगी, अब मेरा गला तो काम नहीं करेगा.
Randomly, when we're not expecting it.
But yeah, but the thing is that I'm aware that I personally am stuck in a lot of cycles. Something I'm trying to work on, maybe not enough because I don't know, maybe I'm one of those people who gets a certain kind of, I won't say satisfaction, but comfort that this is my reality. This is something that is technically or conventionally categorizable as messed up, but this is me. You know what? I will sit in this pool of shit because it's mine. I don't know if it's a limitation. I don't know if it's something that I'll be able to tweak. But the reason why I say that any contribution coming from me to this idea of identifying something that you want to address and then actually taking a step to address it. I don't know if I'm the kind of person who's inclined towards that as yet. And a little disclaimer, I've come to realize, courtesy a lot of lovely friends, that I don't sound like I'm very fond of myself when I talk about myself. So maybe that's something that's coming through. I don't know, perhaps. Sitting next to a therapist, and I'm not hiding anything out that. Okay. But the thing is, I think I feel that I have some perhaps misplaced empathy for people who don't feel an intrinsic motivation to address their own limitations. Because maybe that's the place that I'm at. And I would probably live a better life if I was able to steadily get to a point where I start addressing things.
But also what
Small steps.
is what Bertha was saying, right? Be your own hero. That I look at it from that lens, right? If you decide or if I decide to sit in my own mess and not do anything about it, that's also taking agency. That's also me practicing agency over my decision when I want to do something about it. Like people around you can point it out कि यार तुम कुछ कर क्यों नहीं रही हो, कुछ कर लो, ठीक है? But अगर तुम्हें नहीं करना है और तुम इस एक conscious decision के साथ नहीं कर रही हो, then what you're just doing is practicing your own agency, and I think there's some empowerment in that, and it's still a choice.
You took the word right out of my mouth because none of this has ever been framed the way you just did and you corroborated.
Yeah.
And it is, I've never felt empowered about this till this moment. So thank you.
welcome. Also, वही बात है कि कहीं से एक्सटर्नली आपने एब्जॉर्ब किया था कि कोई टाइमलाइन भी होनी चाहिए, राइट? या मुझे कोई बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड चीज करनी पड़ेगी या बहुत कोई एक्सपेंसिव थेरेपी लेनी पड़ेगी या कोई बहुत ज्यादा ये ट्रिप पे जाना पड़ेगा नेपाल में, that will solve it. And because मैं शायद वो अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकती या मेरे पास उस चीज के लिए टाइम नहीं है, एक्स फाइंड यू व्हाटएवर, that's why मैं जब तक वहां तक नहीं पहुंचती ना तो मैं कुछ फील कर
zero or nothing, your limitation, zero or everything.
You know, like one of the terms that I like to use a lot in my work is waiting room. A lot of us live our life as if we are in the waiting room. कि oh, जब तक ये नहीं होगा मैं ये नहीं कर सकती. No, I want my first trip to be America or UK, but मैं पैसे होंगे, ability है कि एशिया में कहीं जा सकती हूँ, लेकिन वही को करना है. And that's okay, आपने वो करना है. That's fine, right? But you are the missed opportunity here. The opportunity cost is that you are keeping your life in a waiting room until, or thinking about जो हमारी society में बहुत ज़्यादा कहा जाता है कि शादी के बाद ये कर लेना, शादी के बाद.
Yeah.
It's conditioned. This idea of living life in the waiting room is conditioned into us कि timeline ये होगी, ये perfect scenarios होंगे, ये resources होगी, ऐसे लोग होंगे, ऐसा मौका होगा, मैं ऐसी लग रही होंगी, फिर मैं ये करूँगी. Like, you know, like when we were talking about this podcast, right? कि यार, we, even us, all of us in so many ways think about कि oh, ये perfect होगा तो मैं ये करूँगी.
Yeah, true.
We do it.
Yeah. And I think the idea that there has to be perfect timing. There is no such thing as perfect timing. If you want to do something, you do it with whatever you have available at the moment. Otherwise, again, you are spending your life, like we said, in a waiting room. Because सारी चीजें एक साथ will never be perfect, never be aligned. And that way you're just beating and delaying. So like I'd never agreed with the idea of, oh, there's a perfect time to do something or start something.
Yeah.
Pani labya chal maar deo. Basically, you see water, you jump in it.
Oh.
Yeah. But they're taking all of this back to the idea of putting a lot of pressure on therapy. It almost seems like we've been conditioned to place all of our expectations onto one thing, all of our all the responsibility onto one thing, and therapy is just one more victim around us of this mindset that we as a society condition ourselves into.
What do you mean by that? Like, it's very interesting the way you said, therapy also as a tool become a victim of the mindset.
The mindset right now of so individual things that have been identified right now as marriage is going to sort this. We'll be able to do whatever. बच्चा ये सारा कुछ sort कर देगा. बाहर चले ना, बाहर चले जाओगे, ये मसला हल हो जाएगा, ये डिग्री मिल जाएगी, ये सारा कुछ हल हो जाएगा. थेरेपी कर लोगे, खुद सही हो जाएगी.
That's very true, actually.
Pressure on therapy.
या couples counseling कर लेंगे तो सारे मसले
हल हो जाएंगे.
बात ना करें, but हम couples counseling तो कर.
Right, हमारे पास ये दिखाने के लिए evidence, and at the end of the day, what you have credentials, you have milestones, and you have unresolved issues, and everything gets then burdened onto the next generation.
Definitely complicate किया हुआ है, और यही discussions नहीं होती तो हर एक को लगता है कि कुछ भी मेरे लिए accessible नहीं है. Even though it's as simple as अगर आप अपनी sleep ठीक कर दो, अगर आप 6 घंटे सो रहे थे तो आप 7-8 try कर लो, that will just boost your healthy. As simple as that. But it's for everybody, but it's like, nee, I need to get a therapist. I need to do XYZ whatever else, and then I feel better. बेशक मैं 4 घंटे रोज रात को सो, and I don't solve that problem.
It is so funny that you bring up sleep, because here's what I've been doing for a very long time. God, I'll
It's because it's really funny to me, actually. So I hope you find it funny as well. So
I lie down in bed around like 11-12, going to Jana. One of the things I love about my workplace is that unless, of course, there's some really tight timeline or deadline, there's flexibility. I'm like, 12 baje main soungi, I can easily wake up at 8 and I can, get dressed and go to work. And I've decided this. And what do I do next? I read fan fiction. I watch movies. I watch videos. Next thing I know, it's 4:30 in the morning. Okay?
I think that's
Ye karte, here's what I did in August. I watched Supernatural. 15 seasons. On average, 22 episodes per season in 1 month.
Wow.
What did I do? I didn't sleep. I went to work.
Yeah. I think this is most of us. And
Exactly.
we don't know that this is part of what's affecting us.
Micro habits, right? Micro habits that make us feel a certain way, and we are not doing anything about it, right? But we want to do, like, we want to pay a yoga subscription fee, for example, or we want to go to a therapist that charges $100, or we want to buy like an expensive mindfulness journal. It will help.
Yeah.
But we are not talking about the micro habits that actually help you.
The crap that you actually have to do yourself.
Yeah.
I also feel that isn't, like, this is what I feel, the marketing that comes from all these areas is also very misleading. Because what I have an issue with is you can't guarantee you come for 3 days to this session and all of a sudden all your problems will be fixed. You will be healed. You will become a new person.
Yes.
So I feel that that is also why most of the people, they think कि अच्छा हम ये एक चीज कर लेंगे, oh, we'll be fine.
But इस retreat पे चले जाते हैं, जैसे तुमने बोला, हाँ.
So the problem you have with word healing, मुझे issue ये होता है कि how can you guarantee, oh, come to this session, heal yourself in 3 days, in 1 session? No, that's not your.
That's false. Yeah.
And I think that is a huge problem when it comes to
this word or the overall wellness के जैसे हम समझते हैं.
My students come to class and they're like, first class है हमारी, कितनी जल्दी असर होना शुरू हो जाएगा, बेनिफिट्स मिलने शुरू हो जाएंगे. I'm like, this is something, ये 1 class a week आप ले रहे हो, this is something I'm just trying to tell you कि ये टूल आपके पास है, ब्रेथ आपके पास हर वक्त होती है. आप घर पे भी ब्रीथ करके ब्रीदिंग मेडिटेशन कर सकते हो. And I'm just teaching you so you do it every single day. And then maybe आपको benefits down the line feed होना शुरू. There's no quick fix. But I think यहाँ पे instant gratification का culture बहुत ज़्यादा है कि quick fix हो.
पता है, I can't help but see the parallels between this mindset around mental health and emotional well-being and also fitness. Doner mein, it is the same brand of false advertising and the same kind of person who's coming in with these expectations.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, these are two things जिनमें the actual process causes a lot of dis-ease, discomfort, physical and emotional discomfort.
And we come to a place of minor tanging.
Exactly. And that is scary. It is painful. It will bring things to the surface. And it's understandable that people would want to find an option that helps them bypass all of this and get to a result.
Yeah.
So it's preying on people's vulnerabilities.
It is, लोग करते क्या हैं फिर इस केस में? Instant results कब मिलते हैं? जब आप खाना खाते हैं.
Yeah.
So then people are stress eating, binge eating while watching television.
Or not eating at
thinking
all.
about what they're eating, but they're just like instant मुझे ना
Yeah.
good feelings आ जाएं.
Yeah.
Quick fixes जो ढूंढ रहे हैं.
Yeah, and not recognizing that every decision you make has a consequence. If I'm making the decision to leave 10 minutes late to get somewhere, then the consequence of that, for example, if I'm an anxious person, I used to be, like मुझे होता था इस तरह से anxiety बहुत ज़्यादा, especially in Karachi, क्योंकि traffic बहुत unforeseen होता है कराची में, कभी भी कोई भी road आपका बंद हो जाता है. So if I am making the decision, micro decision, कि हाँ चलो कोई बात नहीं 10 मिनट ही तो late हो रही हूँ मैं, what I'm not realizing at the time or acknowledging or placing enough emphasis on that is कि यार this micro decision is going to affect this thought pattern, right? And this thought pattern is going to trigger my anxiety this way.
The butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect, right? Or if I'm sleeping late, I will wake up weird. Yeah. I will wake up groggy and lethargic. I will have a bad day, right? Or I will be on edge. Or if I'm not eating well or doing emotional eating, then the next morning, I will not feel super well. So our micro decisions have so much impact that we just don't think about. And I think when we talk about, in our society, when we talk about wellness and we place so much emphasis on quick fixes, therapy chali jao, gym chali jao, nutritionist ke paas chali jao, we don't actually advertise or we don't actually talk enough about what does it mean to do these things and what is a realistic timeline and what the realistic outcomes looks like and how messy it will be, how much you will have to be dedicated for something like this.
Yeah. Or the risks.
Like,
mostly, I don't know meditation teachers that talk about risks, even though meditation can be risks. So, mostly people just focus on the benefits. So, fully inform करके अपने आप को, या if you got clients, उनको inform करके, then let them make a decision कि उन्होंने इस path पे चलना है कि नहीं. Then just guide and support them through it.
Mother, it's very interesting that you bring this up because something that I've experienced in, just to give some context, I do art therapy sessions, and the idea is that the entire session first takes you to a, I wouldn't say clean, lekin a calm headspace, and then directed towards an event or an experience that has a strong emotional resonance with you. And then the idea is to, through a certain kind of art activity, exercise that feeling out of yourself and onto a canvas or a piece of clay or paper mesh. The thing is, I've had emotional breakdowns. ठीक, क्योंकि इस तरह की चीज़ होती है, पर the importance of opening the door to such a session slowly, so that people are eased into it, and then closing it slowly. And also, one thing that I try to be very clear about is giving each person who has put themselves out into this piece of art, complete agency over it. You want to talk about it, you can. You don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. You want to show it, you can. You don't want to show it to anybody. You want to destroy it, you want to rip it apart. Because even that is a process of cycling through your emotion. There are 3 people I know who tore what they made to shreds. And that is when I could see that they breathed better.
Yeah.
Because it is a certain kind of responsibility that you're taking to somebody to a place where they're bringing their vulnerabilities to the surface. I feel it is my responsibility to do my absolute best to siphon them back steadily into a state that they can step out.
And just to piggyback on that, right? Okay, because, we are talking so much about that we are living in a culture where the idea of being healed is sold as a particular thing, right? It's demand and supply, right? So what's happening is that we have people who are demanding wellness so much because they are very desperate for it. Then what we have is a supply of people who are not being that mindful. Practitioners who are not being that mindful, people who are overselling, overcommitting, giving a false impression of what like well-being or wellness or mental health or working on yourself looks like and what it's supposed to look like. So what we are then having, and this is something I see a lot in my work, is a lot of mismatched expectations between a person that comes in for a session, जैसे तुमने बताया, right? कि आप आते उनको तो अच्छा अब मुझे कब फायदा हो जाएगा, ठीक है? It's because वहाँ है हमारी सोसाइटी में जो लोग जो झूठा फायदा बेच रहे हैं एक झूठी टाइमलाइन के साथ, right? And a lot of people are the way you described your work, right? A lot of people are not that authentic. A lot of practitioners are not honest like you guys. Like I remember your yoga session with Riha so many times, and there's so many things I couldn't do, right? But Riha as a yoga instructor was not placing that false idea on me कि तो तुम्हें आना चाहिए, तुम्हारी body में इतनी flexibility है. Instead, she was telling me that this is how you cultivate enough flexibility to be able to get there.
Yeah, and adding on to this, so like you say, we also have this expectation to, okay, we're going for therapy, we're going for yoga, we're going for art therapy, all these things. And, once the session ends, we feel good.
Yeah.
So even when it comes to yoga, the expectation, oh, you're supposed to feel great after a class that's not true.
Okay.
I've had students in my class who end up crying at the end. And that's great. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. You might not end up feeling good. You might end up feeling heavy because you've been holding on to so much. And maybe the class or something in the class help you, recognize it and it's coming up. But then it's going to take some time for you to release it in a healthy way or however you choose to.
Yeah.
So the idea कि अच्छा इसके बाद fall and say, oh, I'm going to be feeling so great, but you plus on it is also, I think, very, very misleading.
The thing that I feel ends up happening is when people are not conscientious, like I know Varda is very particular about Jana being completely transparent about what her sessions are about, where they will take you, and what kind of headspace you need to be in to be able to be ready for it. When people are not conscientious, what you end up having is a lot of emotionally charged people coming out of these sessions,
oh my God,
having nothing, like no way to address it.
And that begins another cycle of, us projecting newer things, burning bridges instead of understanding boundaries, having misplaced or displaced expectations. कि अच्छा अब मैं तो heal हो रही हूँ, अब मुझे तो ये सिखाया है. Or the false validation that people get out of these things. Right? There's so much false validation and toxic positivity that comes out of it. And I also want to just, one thing that's been coming up for me, one point is that we were talking about, well-being and working on ourselves or understanding what different practices look like and, how you have to, the mindfulness that you have to cultivate to be an active practitioner and how much work that is and how messy it can get. I do want to ask everybody, what are your ways of ensuring small micro habits in your day that make you feel better?
You want to start?
So I think I will start because what I do is probably going to be more different like relatively different from everyone else because I have a very odd strain of rebellion that fights against any concept of structure. Take. So I think my micro habit is just being authentic with myself.
So throughout the day?
Throughout the day, I'm just going to acknowledge where I am, what I'm feeling, what's going on inside me. And that is literally the only thing that I feel I'm able to do with some consistency. And I think it seeps into my ability to absorb anything that is coming at me from life. As long as I'm honest about how I'm feeling about it and what I'm going through, even if, as I said, it's a very weird strain of rebellion against structure. Even though I have very odd, we started with certain bouts of OCD. वो चीजें हैं, but a lot of things can be true at the same time. I'll accept the tiny micro OCDs and then rebel against any idea of a timeline.
Makes sense?
So
that works for you.
I don't know if it works. It's practice. I don't know if it works. I don't know what it's translating into. But
does it translate into feeling better and more, I don't want to say in control, but feeling more grounded in your day?
Yes, it does. Because I had a tendency to feel attacked or rejected. It is something I'm still inclined to. I have a harder time handling what I perceive as an absolute rejection of my being, but I have been able to manage what I perceive as attacks much better, simply because I'm recognizing what my headspace is, what my emotional state is. And because of how present I try to be, anytime something that feels like an attack comes in, instead of getting my hackles out, I'm able to separate what I'm feeling from what's coming at me. And also, I think giving another person a lot of margin for the state that they're coming from.
Yeah. So for you, what works is showing up authentically, right? And being honest about whatever it is and offering the same to the other person. And that's like how I understand that is offering a lot of benefit of the doubt.
Essentially,
right?
yes.
Yeah. What about you guys? What works for you?
For me, it's a couple of things. One is something I also tell my students. It's don't judge yourself. I kind of keep an eye on my inner critic. Where I'm like, किसी और की timeline नहीं है, कुछ भी हो सकती है, right? So don't judge yourself. Keep an eye on yourself. If you have that negative voice in your head who's going like, अभी तक इस चीज का फायदा क्यों नहीं है? अभी तक आपने ये क्यों नहीं किया, right? So just keeping a slight eye on that, like being aware of your thoughts.
Like offering yourself, that's nice.
The second thing is just constantly being in check with the state your body is in, right? I had a lot of problems in like most of my life. I kept my shoulders up all the time and I was carrying so much stress here and so much pain here, right? So when I got into meditation and body scans, I just spent a lot of my time keeping check on my body so much. Yeah, but I don't have that problem, right? So during the day, just doing like a slight scan of your body and breathing, look, सांस भी रोक लेते हैं. Yeah. So just breathing, most important part. Yeah. So just check your body, check your breaths, and it also helps to anchor into the present moment, right? So just these two things, I think.
What about you?
So, okay, I don't have a fixed वो, because again I also do sort of have a problem with अच्छा कि ये मैंने करना. I don't like sticking to. So like one thing for me definitely is that I have to be outside. ठीक है, be it for 5 minutes, be it for 30, be it a walk. I have to be under the sky किसी भी time पे during my day. So that's something that's something जो मैं बचपन से है, ठीक है? Just nature, plants, sky, it just just I just instantly feel better. And one thing that I've done is like when I wake up in the morning, I remember like when I used to wake up, अच्छा अगर मैं थोड़ा सा late उठी हूँ, I would always feel कि I would feel rushed. And now I like to have my mornings slow. Like that's how I like to start my mornings. I don't look at my phone. Thank God I stopped doing that. Before, so like 10 p.m. के बाद, I try कि मैं phone ना देखूं. And then सुबह, because I used to do this, I would wake up and look at my phone. And now I'm like, जब तक मैं coffee नहीं पी लेती, तब तक I don't want to. So I think for me, something that has worked really well is starting slow, because for that sets the tone for my day. Then if I'm rushed in the morning, then मुझे सारा दिन लगता है कि अच्छा, I'm rushing through things. So yes, definitely spending time in nature and movement. And breathing, like we said, I think that's, if you can learn to control your breathing, you can control so much. Like, अगर आपको गुस्सा आए or you feel कि your anxiety is kicking in, like she said, 1 minute की भी conscious breathing will
as matter.
moment. So breathing, I feel, and like movement, yes.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm angry, I know that there's something I need to release. I just get my mat and I just put on my headphones and I do a few. And I love doing that. And अब मुझे इतनी आदत हो गई है कि that is my go-to. But अगर वो नहीं है, I'll go for a walk. Or maybe I'll wash dishes. I love washing dishes. Or maybe listening to music.
Bruh, your mom must love you.
Just for mind.
too,
All of these things are being mindful and being in the present moment.
But it's not a fixed, like, वो ऐसा नहीं. I think where most of the people go wrong is हम अपने ये चीज इतनी मुश्किल बना लेते हैं कि ये ऐसा है. अगर एक भी चीज एक दिन वेस्ट हो गई तो he judges yourself. That's the biggest thing. He say, breathe क्यों नहीं हो रहा? Like, I have people who like, I don't know, I'm not doing it properly.
This right here is the difference between being mindful and being ritualistic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like for me, like, how Ree has said, like waking up in the morning, there are a lot of like, and this is something I get asked a lot as well. Like anybody who knows what I do, like, working as a therapist, so people are like, okay, so you listen to people all day long, that must get exhausting. Sure, it gets exhausting, right? But there are so many things in my day that I've incorporated to make sure that I am feeling grounded enough in myself. I am making sure that my self-care is prioritized and allowing a lot of space to myself. So, something as small as, which works wonders for me, is every morning, not looking at my phone the first thing, like, and putting it actually at night. I've actually realized that I sleep better when my phone is on airplane mode at night. And until like I have gotten up, went to the washroom, freshened up, made my coffee, मैं अपने phone को देखती नहीं हूँ. And that just gives me so much like control over how my mood is in the morning. And then another thing is just asking myself in the morning, okay, like, what do I want from today? ठीक है, मेरा इतना काम है, but what do I want for myself from today, right? And one of the things which works amazing for me, Riha, also in music. I love listening to music in between sessions with movement. कभी-कभी मैं बस यहाँ पे म्यूजिक चला के जोर-जोर से, मैं होंगी भी नहीं कमरे में, मैं कहीं और होंगी, but म्यूजिक चल रहा होगा, just having that in the background for me just works beautifully. And the other thing that works really well for me, and this is, again, I learned it as a mindfulness, just something to be more mindful about, is walking on the floor, no matter how dusty or whatever it is, walking on the floor barefoot.
But I was about to bring that up. That is one thing of
the floor is just
so beautiful. The best thing is, to me, like grass outdoors.
Yeah. Oh yes.
But nange paun chalna. I have such dirty feet. Because
like just sitting, I love sitting
on the ground, right?
Just choose to sit on the floor rather than
I do this all the time. Like even randomly when I was groups mein bhi, there have been a couple of trainings that I've been in where I'm like, can I please sit on the ground? Sare seats pe hote hain, main zamin pe and bye.
मैं एक नोट कर रही हूँ. एक तो है कि okay, there's some good habits that you need to develop, like don't be so much into your phone all the time. The moment you wake up, you have it in your hand, right? But that sets a pattern for your day and it's going to ruin your day, right? It might not, but there's a higher chance of it ruining your day. But mostly जो बातें की है ना, वो ये की कि do things that bring you joy.
Yeah.
And as recently, for a while you get lost in the rat race and you forget these things. And recently I started doing a lot of that. Like मुझे कलरिंग पसंद है तो अडल्ट कलरिंग बुक्स क्या हो जाओ मैंने बचपन में डॉट टू डॉट किया था बट अब अडल्ट्स की डॉट टू डॉट बुक्स भी मिलती हैं I started doing that. I used to love reading epic fiction, right? Epic fantasy novels, and I've just started doing that again. कि आप अपने दिन में लोग कहते हैं कि यार मेरे पास बिल्कुल टाइम है, अब अपने आप को 5 मिनट ही दे दो. That's
You know how
one song.
I don't know अगर आप लोग के घर में ऐसा होता था I always saw like my mom ठीक है I always saw that she would wake up an hour early ठीक है and उन्होंने अपना जो हमारे घर में हाउस हेल्प वगैरह भी आती थी या जो भी था उन्होंने उनका भी टाइम ऐसे सेट किया हुआ होता था कि वो 1 घंटे में कोई नहीं आ रहा घर पे राइट एंड शी इज जस्ट डूइंग हर ओन थिंग लाइक अपनी चाय बना रही हैं अपनी चाय पी रही हैं अपना जो भी रीडिंग करना है रेसिटेशन करनी है जो भी करना है she was just and growing up I did not understand that I was like why does she like what is this like अगर आधा घंटा जल्दी आ जाएगी मेड तो क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा मेरा काम जल्दी हो जाएगा but now I understand कि oh wait that was and maybe like you know I'm talking about a generation जहाँ पे mental health well-being self-care mindfulness ये कुछ भी नहीं सिखाया जाता था but somehow we find our habits we always find our habits it's a matter of either we let it be a part of us or we give into those like societal norms of what mindfulness or meditation or good practices look like what are they sold to us as right because I notice so many people around us like जैसे हमारे culture में शाम की चाय का एक पूरा एक system हर किसी के घर में शाम की चाय का system essentially what is that taking time away taking a break right so our culture is already full of like small things जो हमारी जिंदगी का हिस्सा रही हैं but we've not they are not glorified as self-care right and B they are not sold as a product but if you really look at it they are that's exactly what it is take a time for yourself बिल्कुल सी बात
Slow Sundays बहुत common होते हैं पाकिस्तानी house but a lot of people are like no I'm not doing anything for myself but you are but you won't recognize it
And honestly, if you're going to get backlash from the people around you for recognizing it, fine, don't. Just do it.
and then don't judge yourself कि अगर आपको हिट्टा भी नहीं मिल रहा आप 5 मिनट से शुरू कर लो 5 minutes of yoga 5 minutes of meditation whatever works for you 5 minutes of coloring तो a lot of people come to me they're like नहीं हमारे पास बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं और फिर कहते मैंने घंटा या 2 घंटे जिम देना है आप 15 मिनट भी जिम चले जाओ that's a good start
आप show up.
I think वो घंटे वाला is I would say even for considering कि हर किसी की life because I think most of us just feel rushed even when we're doing a task we feel कि अच्छा for some reason we need to finish it jaldi and then move on to the next thing so I feel कि even like with yoga and fitness especially I've seen कि the idea कि नहीं it has to be an art is what is not helping you progress start from 5 minutes start from 1 minute whatever you can take out in your days start from that and that in itself will build up and become a habit
yeah
the idea कि वो 60 minutes अगर नहीं हुए फिर तो मैं करी
वही ना instant gratification setting unrealistic expectations and also some part of this is also because of social media right because we don't talk enough about what the journey looks like we always talk about what the other side
My before and after. 20 के 6 महीने नहीं
50 kg lose कर लिया look at my after and before shot bro like बीच के आपने जो 2-1 kg lose कर रहे थे उसका तो बताओ बताओ
small wins we need to celebrate ourselves for it could be something as small as I just woke up I didn't have coffee right away I had water today that's great
that's a small win
just anything small it doesn't have to be big we don't have to make it complicated for ourselves but we have said
we have made it so complicated
and then self-compassion we judgment वाली बात है I used to struggle with that a little but be like मैं 5 minutes बैठी भी तो मुझे हुआ ही नहीं कोई बात नहीं वैसे भी आप beginner हो और अगर आप advanced भी होते meditation के अंदर you will have days you cannot do it where you can't focus whether it's because you didn't sleep well, whether it's something challenging in your life, whether it's a work project, whatever it is. So just give yourself some grace.
You know, you're human, you're not a machine. There are going to be things that you don't even realize that are affecting you or impacting you. Take आज सूरज का angle मुझ पर ठीक नहीं पड़ा. Honestly, you don't know it may have thrown something off. शायद उस एंगल की वजह से आपकी जॉ लाइन आपको नजर you're like oh shit I look fat now. It's tiny thing.
Small thing.
Something that I feel I maybe struggle with a bit. I love music to bits. ठीक? My limitation though is it can't be background to me. Any sensory experience is consuming. Take. So the thing that I feel I've been struggling with for a while is finding anything that would feel like background comfort because it just ends up drawing my entire attention.
But even there's so much power in actually knowing, like, because you know this about yourself. Like, if we just look at two parallels, right? Like, I love background music, right? For me, it just is a vibe. It's something that works as an anchor. Okay? For you, it has to be very attentive sensory experience. And that's okay. It's the same tool, but both of us are using it different ways and it works for us. Yeah. So again, piggybacking what Vardha was saying here, what works for you doesn't have to work for another person. One person can sit in meditation for half an hour. One person can only do it for 1 minute, and that's okay. That's your progress.
Yeah. And if you stay out 1 minute for the rest of your life, even that's fine.
It's something sustaining.
Like, even with things like working out, for a lot of people, the idea of going to the gym is what motivates them. So I'm like, my philosophy in life is minimal effort, maximum gain. The more effort I need to make something, the less attractive it becomes. So here's what I did. I bought dumbbells and barbells. ठीक है? जब वो limit मेरी पूरी होगी, मैंने और प्लेटें खरीद ली. I do it at home.
Nice.
And accessible for yourself. Exactly. Yeah. And even with Jenna recording stuff, I was like, ये भी करना होता है, करना होता है, ठीक. And I'm paralyzing myself under everything. I need to put scripts on. And one day I was like, you know what? नहीं. दिन के time धूप आती है. Yes. I'm gonna set up my camera and I'll just talk. And that's what I did.
It's a small thing.
No editing. Editing ही मुझसे होगी. ठीक? I'll just record something and put it out. And I won't even tell anyone about it. But even that, Jenna,
you're not standing in your own way. Yeah. A lot of people are standing in their own ways.
I'm doing that in a lot of areas of life. But whenever I stop doing it, exactly, it feels great.
Yeah. So there are a lot of if you look at our society, right? Yes, sure, there are mismatched expectations, a lot of misleading happening, a lot of false idea of healing, wellness being sold to us constantly. ये कर लो तो ये हो जाएगा, इस retreat पे चले जाओ, or work with this therapist. Oh, no, that yoga instructor is actually good. ठीक है, वो सब अच्छे होंगे. It's not about discrediting anybody, but it is about, how your shoe size will be different than my shoe size, right? So similarly, wellness, well-being, what healing is can look different for you than it does for me. And I think we as a society, especially on social media, we are not talking enough about how it can look so different and look different on different days as well. Yes. Like one day music can work for me in cheering me up, but one day the same music can bring back some memories that I don't want to deal with right now. Right? Yes. One friend that I look up to or I'm very close with can also be a friend that I don't want to talk to something about, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be, nothing has to be an absolutely positive or an absolutely negative experience. It can be sometimes somewhat positive, sometimes somewhat unneeded. And I think that is very important for us to understand as people that there's no and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's also a sense I'm picking from our conversation that there's no final destination. What heal looks like, right?
Absolutely.
Your capacity every day is gonna be different, right? Your journey from others will be different, and there will be moments where you feel like you've got a handle on something, but the same moment something else feels like yaar wo to nahi samajh aa raha.
And sometimes the same thing can make you crash completely.
Yeah. And I use this word a lot. I mean, I love that we read it. It's a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey.
It's your own. It can go.
It really is.
Anywhere.
Yeah,
it can even be in lucid if that sits well with you.
Yeah.
And it's not a competition if it's working for this person. Oh, it's working for my friends. it should work on me. No, it's just you, your journey, you're a different person.
So, see, should is another one of those things. Really hate the word should.
Oof, it just, why?
Oh God.
Why should something be this way?
Yeah.
Why can it not just come from within and spill out of you like that?
Yeah.
It's just again, pressure, expectations,
Too much.
boxes.
And some of these boxes we've created ourselves because of what we are seeing and what we are understanding. And some of these boxes we are put into those boxes because of our conditioning as well, right? So what would like your, I'm thinking about like takeaway, right? What's the biggest takeaway for you? Because we are talking about this in regard to the World Mental Health Day and mental health in Pakistan and wellness in Pakistan, right? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it look like for you, right? So if you could just like summarize it in one way, like what would be your takeaway? Or what does it look like for you?
My personal takeaway would be dehyphenate expectations from your well-being. Investing in yourself does not mean that you have to have tangible results that you can show people.
Absolutely.
Identify what your feelings and your needs are. Recognize that you will not be able to address everything all the time. Being even at 0 on some days is fine. You don't have to self-flagellate. That's really what it all comes down to, is self-compassion.
Yeah.
Give yourself empathy in the way that you might be giving it to other people as well. That's I would do well learning from this myself, because I'm not a big fan of the self.
Work in progress.
But
Work in progress.
It's a constant reminder, I think, that even I need it for myself. Okay, you just need to stop being so hard on yourself. When I have to notice that I'm being hard on myself, and why can't I see or show myself the same compassion that I'm extending to other people? So yes, like pretty much the same thing. I think whatever works for you, whatever brings you joy, it could be anything at all.
Yeah.
So you don't have to stick to a routine, and whatever you're doing, remove expectations from it. When you're going for a yoga class, any expectation that you have, the class will be like this is how I will end up feeling, you're already, I would like putting it in a box, I feel. So just remove any expectations. You will have hard days, you will have days where you feel like you're a failure. I was doing so well in my healing journey, but it's okay, you're human, you will fall back, you will fail a lot of times, but it doesn't mean that आपने जो अभी तक progress किया वो एक दिन में 0 हो गई है. So just have faith in yourself and do things that bring you joy. I think we have forgotten to do that.
We have. I think we really, and play. Like for me, like the best thing is play. Nothing feels better, more liberating than just childlike, guilt-free play. Just being able to, just go out there, run like maniacs, or like play. बचपन में हम खेलते थे पकड़म पकड़ सही बर्फ पानी or like home with color coco. I think for me, I love play is the most.
I've gone to Lawrence Garden specifically to climb trees. Twister. I swear,
Twister.
You have made my Peter Pan complex is so happy right now. It feels like it's got.
I want to invest in a human-sized Twister.
Oh my!
So now I ask somebody.
John,
in my life. But yeah, so really, for me, it would definitely be play, aim, and a lot of forgiveness. Forgiveness for ourselves, forgiveness for others, because it's a burden carrying grudges. It's a burden keeping expectations, assessing yourself and assessing others through those expectations. And I think forgiveness just goes a long way. And of course, you have to also understand where forgiveness is needed or not needed, right? Because sometimes it can also be toxic. But I think play and forgiveness are for me the biggest two things that has helped me a lot in my own journey. And B, like, also as a therapist, this is something I like to, I just like to advocate for it. It's your choice if you want to do it or not, right? But just have fun. Have fun. Don't be so serious. Not everything is so deep.
Yeah.
And I want to add on, I think laughter is such an instant
Yeah.
mood lifter. Even it's a small smile will fix your mood. Why am I using this word today?
It's coming naturally to you.
Yeah. So for me, it's self-awareness. We've all talked about it. Like, understand yourself and then get into this journey. And then just have self-compassion. Because ये हो सकता है कि एक दिन आपकी ये meditation work करे, अगले दिन आप कहीं योगा चलेगी शायद. इतनी भी flexibility अपने आप को जितनी दे सकते हैं दें.
Yeah.
If it's 30 seconds of breathing meditation, that's perfectly fine. If it's like you said, 5 minutes of yoga bhi ho jaye, it's perfectly fine. So a lot of self-compassion and being very aware of your thoughts. That even the forgiveness ki aap baat kar rahe ho. Like, if you're not aware of your thoughts, you might not be even forgiving yourself for your like ये lack जो आपके और समझ तो मेरा ये failure है मैं इससे नहीं हुई है 5 minute की भी और मैंने खाली 5 minute की है and my teachers does it for 2 hours. So why am I stuck and let it go, like it's
Enjoy. Yeah. I
Enjoy those 5 minutes.
yeah, and I think not take everything too seriously. Just keep things simple.
yeah.
बकवास नहीं चाहिए. Don't make it complicated.
Yes.
Yeah. So
In the words of Avril Lavigne.
Why'd you have to go and make today so complicated?
yes.
Yeah, boy. That's nice, guys. Want to make that goat sound?
Oh, you're really good at that.
The moment you said goat, I was like, does she know?